At all the good points. We done now.
Hello.
Let's see.
We're waiting.
All right, it says we're live now. This says we're live.
That was the old one.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, so this one might work.
That's me right now.
So we're going to stall a little bit for everyone to find it. But we can go ahead and do our intro stuff maybe.
Sure.
We just won't talk about any content ever again until I see someone say, Roger. Same thing. Welcome to Books We Never Read.
Except for those we have.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Jason.
And today we are discussing chapters 1 through 36 of Yesteryear by Claire Burke.
We did this on the last one too.
Soon to be a Netflix show.
Oh yeah, with like Anne Hathaway.
Produced and acted in by Anne Hathaway. So that'll be fun. We'll have to do an episode on that too. If this is your very first time joining us, make sure that you've read up to this point in the book, chapter 36 of Yesteryear. Otherwise, we're going to be spoiling everything for you. So go read, get caught up, and join the replay. Whether you're in the live or in the replay, please chat us up in the chat box. Is everyone seeing us and hearing us? Do we have confirmation? I see little chats coming through.
Sue doesn't seem to be in yet.
Okay. I see someone say, Sue?
Hey, Cal.
Join. Anyway, we are on Instagram for the memes, YouTube Music as a podcast, and Fable to keep the chat going in between live discussions. So we're just happy to have you here, and we've already done all of this, and we were like all into it, and I was already getting mad, and we realized no one could see us. So I take this as an opportunity to do better this time.
It was just, I don't understand. We hit all the same buttons.
Yeah, same buttons. So, anyway,
tell us the first thing you said about this book.
I don't like it. But I think I don't like it in the way that it is a good book that makes me feel strong feelings. And that's a good thing, right? Like, it's not like I hate the book because it's a bad book.
Yeah.
I hate the book because it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Because people shouldn't make life so difficult.
Yeah. I think... we're just going to kind of take a different tangent than we started with last time.
And there was something that we talked about before the show that we were going to mention. Usually our show is reasonably friendly to have on in the background if you have kids around you. Mm-hmm. We're very careful about how we say things or whatever. I don't know if we can talk about this book in a way that's appropriate if there's little ears, because there's just too many things that happen.
Yeah.
So warning.
Fair enough.
So different approach.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I do think so far this is a book that I think I will like recommend to people, but like this book gives me anxiety. And one of the things that we talked about is one of the things I've been thinking, like it's not like the whole like trad wife thing that's like really gross, because like I don't really care about that.
I get
like,
it.
That's fine. Like, do you think?
Yeah.
Like you get doing that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I don't. But look, the modern world is amazing. We don't have to go back. I do sort of like enjoy this like justice of her getting sent back in time, being like, see, this is why we don't live like that. I enjoy that, but it's the influencer thing that's like really gross, and that's like really what this is about, and her like self-centeredness. And anyway, as people who like do have a YouTube show, and like sometimes I'm like, why would anybody care what we have to say about anything? And the answer A is that nobody cares, and that's fine. This is for us, and it's just great that you guys are along for the ride. But I do think about like, oh, am I like this? Like that was something that kept coming up, right? Like, am I trying to like get the right shot, or am I trying to like make sure that my camera's not crooked so I can like do that? Like, like these little things that like bother her so much. The other thing is like, especially like all the dudes in this book are gross, and then there's like this part of me is like, oh, please tell me I'm not like that. Please tell me I'm not like that, right? Like, but then also for like the motherhood, and just for like the way she talks and thinks about women. Like I think everything in this book is like, it's so good about just like calling things out.
Yes.
And that's why we don't like it. It's just like, okay.
It's just a pile of discomfort.
Yeah.
All in one book. So a couple of like takeaways from that. Like, yes, all the men in this book are gross. Mm-hmm. It's important that we ask ourselves, are we also being gross? Am I being gross right now? Like that's an important question to ask yourself to live a good life. You know what? Like that's a great way to start the day. I choose to not be gross today. That's great.
Yeah.
And we can learn that from this book.
Yeah. I think, like asking that question is half the battle. I knew a young lady one time, I won't name her on the internet, but she worked for me, and she was the best person like I've ever known. And she was constantly worried that she was doing the wrong thing. And that's why she was the best person, right? And she went on to be a nun. So confirmation right there.
Literally the best person.
But
she still constantly asks herself, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I, and we don't see that at all here. Natalie is never asking herself, how can I be better for my children?
Right.
How can I be better for myself? How can I be better?
Yeah.
Am I doing the right thing? She never asks herself that. And
she's just like cruising.
Never acknowledges that she's messed up.
Right.
It's not us.
Okay.
And so that's one thing that gets me in the last chapter that we read together for this reading. She goes to the grocery store, and rather than having a genuine interaction with this woman that approaches her, she's constantly thinking, like, how do I make myself the persona everyone thinks I am? Like, instead, just be who you are. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's hard to do when you're terrible. I understand that. It's hard to... You're having to pretend to be some good person because you're actually trash. Mm-hmm. But the ending of this interaction is that Natalie realizes that she went grocery shopping and left her baby in the car. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is horrifying. And she should have responded in a horrified way, which would have been natural. You naturally go, oh my God, I left my baby and you grab your baby and you check your baby and you hold your baby and you probably sob. And that woman has an opportunity to say, we have all done something because we're tired and we're distracted and being a parent is hard. Mm-hmm. We have all done something that we realize like could have put our child in danger. And we're just grateful no one was audience to that.
Right.
And she just got trapped in a situation where, like, she did have audience to that. And instead of being authentic and genuine and caring about this child who might be dehydrated that she left in the car, she's worried about making it appear like she did it on purpose.
Right.
You can't leave your kid in the car on purpose and that be okay. So it's frustrating. She made a mistake. That's human.
Yeah.
And she's just making this way worse for herself. And I imagine this is going to like have some kind of backlash. This woman's going to go online and be like, yeah, I saw her at the Whole Foods and she left her kid in the car.
I don't know. I mean, because this is like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's not Clementine. It's like both one of the other girls. This is early.
Jessa.
Yeah, this is early into
That's
her
a cow's
career.
name, by the way. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Her name is Jessa, sorry.
Just like talking about the way you present yourself, like this is one of the things I have to think about a lot as like a grown person, is that like people on the internet, their lives don't look like this, or like I follow bodybuilders and fitness people, and like they don't look like that all the time, right? They don't show what, and like when sometimes people do, they're like, this is what I normally look like every day. But we have to remember that like that perfect life that we see on the internet is not real, and they're buying stuff at Target, and they're leaving babies in cars, and they're doing all the normal people things. But then we feel this need, but then it makes, so not only do like these people feel bad because they have to keep up with it, but now we feel bad because we're not keeping up with them, and like none of it's real.
And none of it's real. Yeah. It's crazy. And so we've talked about like with the show, like things that we could do with books you never read to like, just show a little bit more about us or whatever outside of the books. And every time I've tried to film something for that, I'm like, this is gross. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
First of all, I don't look like other people on the internet. I don't know. Like, I don't look right, and my kitchen doesn't look right, and like, our house is not made to be filmed. It's not a prop. Like, it's where we live.
Yeah. But that's like.
But it doesn't look right when I see it through the eyes of someone who's scrolling on social media. I'm like, ew. Like, no one wants to see this.
Yeah. Well.
Because it's just not real.
Yeah. And that's fine. Whatever.
And we aren't like...
But we're not trying to...
Yeah.
let's dive into the comments real quick before I get so far behind I can't keep up.
Okay.
Peggy says, I don't have a problem with women wanting more traditional life, but condemning all who don't is
Right.
wrong.
I
Agreed.
100% agree with that.
What's the girl's name? Rena?
The one from college.
Yeah, she's like so convinced that Rena must be unhappy, but like she's unhappy, and
right.
like we don't know anything about Rena. We don't know anything about Rena, and she might hate her life too. But like we, as the reader, don't know that.
So there was this like very blatant like dichotomy being shown when Rena had lost her internship and then had posted online about like, hey, I'm just reaching out to my friends. If you have anything available in this area, I would love to, look into that and apply for it. And I don't even remember what was going on in Natalie's life at that time, but she was like, oh, how gross just to be like floundering around on social media to try to gain, attention and better yourself. And I'm like, you are literally doing the same thing. Yeah. I don't remember if it was like the bug spray scandal or if it was the microwave scandal. I don't remember what it was, but something was happening and she was also floundering and she was posting something that was super fake.
Yeah.
And it was for the same reason. I mean, like, why do we care so much about how other people live their lives? Like, I can see the value of farm life. I can see the value of having lots of kids. I can see the value of not having kids. Everyone we are lucky enough to live in a time where we can choose how we live.
Yeah. Well, and
you know what I mean?
And that's what's cool about now is that you can choose to go and live this traditional life. Yeah. Which, by the way, right when she makes it to the past or whatever, and we'll talk about that later, she realizes like, oh, this is not like it's still not traditional. Right.
Right.
Because like it doesn't suck.
Because you have a generator. Yeah. You have, like it's, and that's great. I love that for us. I love that she's talking about how her sourdough isn't right back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Like bacteria has changed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just your conditions in the modern world are more sanitary and you can control other bacteria a little bit more easily. Like that's fine. It's fine if you want to do that. Yeah. And it's fine if you don't want to do Why do you care? I think it's super cool to like live on a farm and to share that with the world. I think that's so cool to be able to see. I follow lots of farms.
I get a ton of farm recommendations now.
Oh, that's funny.
Since like last week.
Have been following farms and I'm like, this is really great, but like you can never leave it. You can never take vacation. You can never take a day off because your goats need you, your chickens need you, your horse is sick. Like, it's very, very hard work. But why? The angry women, they are wrong. You are wrong to go on someone's account and be like, you're an idiot and this is fake. And blah, blah, blah. Of course, whatever. Like, of course it's fake. I don't know. The whole thing just makes me so mad.
Yep. Let's keep going. Sujay says she's completely phony, never knowing her own self and who she could be. She could be who she is and she would have to be better some kind of way. So her being completely phony and like not knowing herself. And I think it's part of what's happened in the past, right? Is like learning. She's got to like figure out who she is apart from like, cause she was her mom first and then she was her husband and then she was this internet person that she can't be. She even keeps talking about how like, she's not her, the one she's on the internet. She can't compete. Like, we think about like, oh, I can't keep up with these people on the internet. These influencers.
She's like, I can't keep up with myself.
With her own self. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Shelby says, Natalie seems to have skipped the part of life where you get to figure yourself out and immediately went to painting the perfect online life.
Right. Yeah, well, and I mean, like, she jumped right into marriage and right into having kids. She never had a chance to really like develop herself and learn about the world and become a person. She just immediately became a mom. And again, that is a privilege that we have now, that we don't have to start having kids at 21 or younger because we're not losing as many kids in childbirth. And so, like we just have a better mortality rate. That's a privilege that we have. But she just skipped past it. And why? Right. Because she was supposed to. And then when her sister tries to identify with her and be like, it's okay to be tired. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm not tired. That was an opportunity for you to get help from somebody and to have someone who understands what you're going through. Like, Why is she like that? She's so miserable.
Well, so the chat talking about misery and talking about childbirth. The chat's talking about Clementine, which is something we did before we realized we didn't know we were not streaming. But like her whole reaction to her first child is horrifying, and somebody saying it's very Verity. Sue might have said that, and that's true. And like I get postpartum, and that's fine, but like her reaction to this is, I mean, like it never goes away.
Right.
Like she has these other kids that she seems to bond to, but she has this like resentment for Clementine.
And that's really sad. But again, that could have been avoided had, and this is what I was talking about in our failed episode start. Maybe this is getting better now. I don't know. But when I was younger and my friends started having kids, they started talking about the things that were never talked about. How hard it is all the way from beginning through, and after birth. Like, it's very, very difficult, and things rip, and things are scary, and things, hurt. And sometimes you have weird feelings or you have weird dreams, and sometimes you feel like this is some alien that's taking over your life. And because none of my friends' parents had ever talked to them about these really hard conversations to have about this life that you're forming and you're supposed to be so joyous and protective and amazed by, and you're supposed to automatically know how to take care of them and how to do all the things. Like, they were having such a hard time because no one ever talked about it. And so they started talking about it, and that made it easier by having other friends going through it and talking about the things that no one ever told them about.
Right.
But how much better could this be if we just...
Yeah. But I think there's like this stigma of like, so everybody's talking about this, and then people will be like, well, my mom never had that. My grandmother never had that because they didn't talk about it, right?
Right.
And there might be like a generational shift, let's say like 30 years from now, where like enough people have been talking about it that like it's regular. But I think where we're at now is sort of like this cusp between two worlds. And I think there's still a lot of people who are like, well, no, I don't have that problem.
Well, because it's shameful.
Yes. And like, why? Why is it shameful? Well, because my mom didn't, or my grandmother didn't, or whatever.
Because there's this standard that women should just automatically know how to do all this and be equipped to do it. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Shelby brings up Caleb and how he seems to enjoy playing farm outside all day. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot. Caleb in like the modern world, I agree, is like a buffoon. And I mean, like his daddy's paying for it all and he's just like hanging out. And that's like, I'm not even sure that he's lazy. He's just, I mean, like he is, I guess. But he also is, like, talk about like somebody who's ill-equipped, right? Like, what's our main character's name?
Natalie,
right. Like she didn't know how to be a mother. Well, like nobody really taught Caleb how to like go work and like be something. For whatever reason, like that part just got left out for him, you know? And so, yes, he's playing at it. And I don't have any problem with like criticizing him. But old Caleb in the past and his sons, I'm not saying old Caleb is a good person. I'm not about to say that. But Natalie is so judgmental of like those boys coming in dirty and like seeing them play out in the field and all that. And I do have a problem with sort of the way that Natalie perceives the men's life in the past. And like, I'm not disagreeing that it might be better for the men, but like we have basically got no perspective of like those boys' life, right? Like inside the house, we get to see them when they're with Natalie, but otherwise we don't. And like, I'm willing to believe that like they're out there working and doing things and
well, they're
like,
planting and picking and cleaning.
Right,
and
they're
feeding.
doing stuff.
Yeah,
and they're doing stuff like out where it's dirty. And like, yes, they're playing and getting dirty. And yes, she just cleaned those clothes. But that's just sort of like how boys play, especially like when you're used to being outside all day. Like that's where you're gonna play. Anyway, but like her judgment of like the sons and they're going to get dirty and her sort of like perspective of their life, I don't really care for. And that's it. That's my TED Talk.
Yeah. I think so. We haven't talked about like what has caused her to go back in time. I think she's gotten into too many of Caleb's mom's mother's little helper, and she's just having a coma dream.
She could be. I'm still going with like a supernatural element. I think she's like misunderstanding the supernatural thing. The part where she thinks her, Maeve,
Maeve.
the part where she thinks like Maeve is God, and she has like this conversation with
That
her, and then Maeve is like, "What are you talking
was
about?"
wild.
Yeah, that's like, could you imagine like if somebody just like had that conversation with you? Like, Natalie appears psychotic to these children, and there's nothing to be done about it. And I mean, that part was just really weird. Okay, so what do we think happened to Maeve in the woods? We haven't like not addressed that
I
yet.
don't want to talk about what I think happened. I mean, I think she found a boy
Yeah,
or something.
maybe.
I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
have different thoughts, but I'm hoping it's not what I really think it is.
She has this story about like she found an animal in a trap.
Yeah, and then it upset her.
Yeah. I was thinking like, what if she found like an injured person in a trap, like a Native American or something, and
Oh.
couldn't help them or
Oh.
something. Like that's sort of like, because like I want to think that her story that she made up is close to the truth somehow.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
that's kind of my
maybe.
guess. Yeah. Because like we haven't addressed that part yet. Like, what about the other? What about people who live differently than us? Right. Like
Right.
we've set this up in the modern world to have sort of this discussion. And so how do we, like, it has to get roped in eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. So one of the things that I'd mentioned in the other version of our show today that didn't make it was that, you know, she's so strong in her fundamental beliefs, and her mom sent her out to college and said, you know, remember to be nice and make some friends or whatever. It frustrates me that she praises the Lord in everything that she has. She thinks about God in everything that she does, but she does not love people.
Yeah.
Like she forgot that that's like a pretty...
The first and greatest.
Yeah. You're supposed to love others and love yourself.
Yeah.
And she's left that part out. And I think that's why I just really dislike her. I mean, like, that's not hard to do.
Well, I think, so obviously this book is mom trom, and I didn't expect that. But it's also just like trom. It's just trauma. And part of the reason that Natalie is like this is because she has learned to be like this. And like the girls in college were not nice to her,
No,
and
it was weird.
They judged her and were weird about it because she looked different and believed different and all that. And like, people are gonna pick. I get that. But like, it's not a, if your goal is just to, like, to pick and hurt somebody, then like, all right, this is the way to go about it. If your goal is to be like, hey, I feel like you're living your life weird and maybe you could do it differently, it is not the way to go about it. And there are like more effective strategies for showing somebody a different way, but like being nice to them and showing them that like you're not weird and like, hey, you're okay or whatever, like they were just trying to be mean. And so she learned to be mean back, in the same way that she talks about the angry women online, and then she's worried that she's an angry woman. And in the past, she realizes like she is angry. She's very angry, right?
I think with the college thing, though, she assumed she was being attacked. And so she attacked back. Like, she goes into situations assuming people will hate her. But you know what? If you would just like maybe be cool.
Yeah.
Well, like talk, learn, care, perhaps love even.
Yeah.
People might be weird at you for a second and they're like, well, she's different, but she's cool with it and that's fine. Like,
I think
it has to do with how you present yourself and how you feel about yourself. And if you're all uptight and you're all defensive about your own beliefs, well, yeah, you're going to come across as a jerk and people are going to keep
I think
grinding against that.
I think though that this is like something that's like baked in to like small religious communities, is this idea of, I don't want to say victim, that's not the right word. Victim, it is right, but it's like, it's not the most right. There's this idea that like you are pariah, right? That you like well, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna be different and everybody's gonna hate you, and like, and that's the way it's supposed to
like
be.
the
right?
martyr.
Yeah, martyr's not the right word either. but so like that kind of gets baked into some of this,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, it's
and
crazy.
well, and that's not healthy, you know,
No.
because
No one
but
thinks that much about you.
yes,
Like,
but it's
like
there's
people do have first impressions and they do kind of like
yeah,
push to see like where is the boundary and where do you push back.
yeah.
Just respond with kindness.
But there's this idea that like if you are othered, that you are doing it correctly, and if you
Right.
are persecuted, that's what I'm looking for.
There you go. Yeah.
That then you must be doing things right, and if you're not being persecuted, then like you've made a mistake,
There's a
right? And
lot of
like
wasted energy, just
it's
by the
just
way.
well, it's very there's like a whole Nietzschean analysis to be had there, but um, I think that's like part of the issue, you know, is this sort of like baked in victimhood that we
Yeah.
can have, you know.
But again, that's a lot of wasted energy. Like she could have had friends. And a lot of her problem is that she has no friends. She
Well,
has,
and even from like her childhood, she has no
yeah,
friends.
she has no one that she can compare experiences with and talk through confusions and feelings. And this thing happened to me today. And how do I feel about it? And all that. And like that gets to an unhealthy point too, right? When you're just like gossiping about things and then you become the mean girl that you're trying to process. But like
Right.
having some friends means that you have a healthier view of the world because you have someone to bounce your ideas off of, and you're connected. Like there's just something wrong with this girl.
Well, and
Gross.
maybe there's like a thing to be said, like because this is something we've talked about, not necessarily on the show, but I get real worried about men my age and older who have no friends. Caleb is one of these people, and I'm actually very interested in like Caleb's online evolution because I see that happen to people. They don't have healthy friendships. They develop these friendships online, and they get into these like weird forums where somebody's like literally dropping the word Aryan by the end of this reading.
Yeah, that was
You know,
gross.
just like, are y'all okay? Like, can you just do your thing, man? But and then they have all these like Mexican people that are helping them out around their farm, and then by the end of it, she's like, she makes some comment about like, I understand now why we need better borders, and it's because she feels like this guy did a bad job.
Because he didn't hide
Yeah, the
pesticide.
yeah. That part's really wild. And like, if you
And
think,
like, how do you hear yourself say this?
yeah, and like, if you have like a policy position, I don't care. But when you have a policy position because like somebody didn't like
Because
cover
they
your
didn't
lie,
do what you wanted them to do.
I have a problem with the hypocrisy there.
Gross.
That's like my real issue.
Gross,
But
gross, gross.
but she's the, you know, this like silo, this online silo that we see Caleb going into, you know, she has as well. And you're exactly right. You just kind of end up in this place where, you know, we're part of what makes us good people is because we are in a community that rewards us for being good and then punishes us when we don't do right by the rest of society. But so what happens when you are proper, what happens when you're rewarded by likes and ding ding dings and you know whatever on the internet for lying? Well, then you learn to lie, you know. What happens when you are rewarded for attacking people who are different from you and you get and like then you learn that. And that's like a major problem is that our biology and our reward systems has not caught up to really, it's not even the internet, it's our like internet policy really,
Yeah.
and how we're supposed to do things there. Peggy says she killed her relationship with her sister. Abigail was unhappy and wants to share. Yeah, between her and her mom like dogpiling on Abby, like that was a sad scene. Of course, Abby is over here like drinking wine and smoking cigarettes while she's pregnant. That part made my eye twitch.
And she, just so, Natalie is so cruel. Like, Natalie has had a hard time.
Yes.
Why isn't it in her to reach out to someone else who's having a hard time? Instead, she's avoiding going to the grocery store where her sister bags groceries. You are so mean.
Yeah. Well,
You are just hateful and gross.
I think too, like while I'm saying that like she has learned to be this way, I feel like she continually puts herself in situations where she learns to be cruel, you know? Like Caleb wanted to be a kindergarten teacher and she wouldn't let
Yes.
him. And then she like manipulated this farm thing. And then like for like modern Natalie, nothing really terrible that she did not choose has happened to her.
Right.
Like she still has like a very privileged life, and
Yes.
it's really pretty nice in the grand scheme of things. But it's just so terrible. But it's because of her perspective of it and the way she is interacting with it and choosing to go about it. You know, like maybe the only terrible thing she didn't choose was like the postpartum thing, right? Like I'm on board. And like that's part of what she's having to learn in the past is like, oh yeah, you could have no choices, right? You could be out here in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to go, you know.
That's the thing. Life, the natural part of life, living, hormones, sickness, health, all that stuff is hard enough. Why would you be motivated at all to make things harder for yourself? You chose this guy. You chose to marry him. He wants to be a kindergartner teacher. You know what? That's awesome. He has found something he wants to do. You chose this man-child, and now you're going to like kill the one thing that he's like, I could be really good at this because it's not manly enough. Why are you making your own life hard?
Yeah.
I just want to.
The whole concept of like gendered jobs, I think, is really insane. Like, and I get it, whatever, right? Like, I want my strong people to go hunting and hauling the deer, like whatever, right? I get it.
Again, we live in a society.
We're like, it's not an issue, whatever. So,
like we have made it.
yeah.
We are in a privileged position for us to be able to do the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? If more men were teachers, then teachers might get paid a livable wage.
I've never thought about that. That's a fair point.
Just going to make prolonged eye contact with the camera on that one.
Looking at you. Sue J says, Natalie needs no community. She doesn't want it. And no one is good enough for her. No one is good enough to be in her circle, thus her situation.
What a sad, sad life.
Yeah. And like maybe we'll learn more about like her childhood and like why she is this way. Like maybe something terrible did happen to her. You know? And maybe some people are just like this and like it just doesn't get regulated appropriately, you know.
Well, because I see like both with Natalie and with Caleb, like they never faced consequences for not doing the things that they were supposed to do as they grew up.
Yeah.
You are supposed to go out on the playground and make some friends and lose some friends and make new friends and apologize to old friends. Like you're supposed to go through these motions to, like you said, learn how to be socially acceptable. Like we hit these little bumpers along the way and we learn to ride the middle line.
Yep.
We learn how to be kind. We learn how to have boundaries, but we don't go too far either way.
Yeah.
You just ride this line and become a socially acceptable person who works well in society and helps keep this whole thing going. Both of them were allowed to stray outside those boundaries with no consequences. Yeah. His mom didn't step in and say, maybe it's time for you to have a summer job, young Caleb. Maybe it's time for you to learn how to suffer a little bit, how to work a little bit. Yeah. They didn't do that. And the dad's not a dad.
Right. Have you ever met a cat that didn't have a mom?
A cat?
A cat that didn't have a mom. Like they're terrible. They're terrible.
Like, puppies are the same way, right? Like they don't know how to regulate their like play.
But yeah, because nobody like knocked them back in the line.
Right, yeah. And
that's important. The chat has started talking about Caleb's videos and like chemtrails and all that kind of stuff.
Bless it.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is, it's like I'm interested in manosphere stuff in terms of like combating it, or maybe not combating it, but in like adding healthy things to it. Like I have no problem with like a space for dudes.
Yeah.
Like whatever, that's fine.
I think everyone needs to have their communities.
Yeah, I'm on board. But I think there's just like a lot of stupid stuff that's out there, and I want something that is like objectively healthier, you know, one way or the other. But whenever he's watching that podcast and they are announcing Natalie's farm and her account and all that, and then they like have to go take these like ads, you know, we have to remember that like these
that protein
people,
powder commercial, that was very funny.
Well, and like especially in like the dude podcast space, like you feel like somebody's trying to help you and they're interested in what you're interested in, like, but they're not, right? They're trying to sell stuff, you know. They're trying to get you to their online store and sell Choco, triple Choco, protein powder, 300% body mass gain, or whatever the ad was. It was very funny. But like, part of me, what's gross about this book is what I was calling like the capitalism of it all, right? Just like the willingness to monetize
Everything.
community
Yeah.
and your children, and you know, it's one of these things where like, really I really am concerned about the fact that like a lot of people don't know their neighbors. You know, like there's this community and everything, but you know, and like I'm interested in this whole like looks maxing thing right now that the kids are doing. And you know, one of those things is like, well, what's the ROI on that? Like, what's the return on investment? Why would I have friends? How does that make me money? And it's this like obsession with money. The love of money is the root of all evil kind of concept. And you know, Natalie's doing this to keep her farm afloat. She's doing this for money, you know. And just that willingness to like literally monetize whatever is concerning, and it's not normal.
Also,
Yeah.
oh no.
Well, like people, you know, or like we talk about like the market, and then people will expand that to like literally everything, you know, and like in the same way that we think about the body as a machine, that's very new, like in the last 200 years. And we may not like keep that forever because it may not be like the most accurate
Right.
sort of analogy. But you know, when we think about like our social value in like a market sense, like that's not what we're supposed to be doing here. Like that's weird.
Yeah.
But it's like permeated everything. So.
Yeah, I don't get what Natalie's goal is. I don't understand how she got here or what she wants. I just don't understand it. You know, Caleb's dad like threatened to expose how much money has gone into the farm, and she's like kind of panicked about that. Farming is not a profitable lifestyle. Like, it's hard work. It is very expensive, and you don't just have a farm, you have a pretty farm.
Yeah.
You have a pretty farm where you, like your mother pointed out, replaced everything that didn't need replacing inside of it. Like, that's so silly and so wasteful and so not you know, like, you know, like not within the realm of like, you know, to be a, like, and this is like why she got blasted back to the past, right? To see what it really means to be, you know, yesteryear. And that is, you don't waste, you use what you have.
Right. Well, this is still one of those things where like you don't, like she just doesn't recognize the privilege that she has, because most farmers don't get to gut their house of perfectly good things, right? They're going to run it into the ground and fix it 7 times. You know?
Yeah.
And even in the past, when she like cuts up her sweater, you know, and Maeve is just like, what are you doing?
To make little hats for the chickens.
Little hats for the chickens, right? But that's still like that same mindset of like not recognizing, and like really that's her issue, right? Like she's had a good life. We were when we were listening to music on the way down here the other day, I was like kind of picking on you. I was like, what happened to you for you to like this? And the answer was like nothing. Anybody who listens to music like this probably had a good life. They just like were angsty for no reason.
But like, where does her privilege even come from? Because she didn't grow up like that.
Yeah, I mean, but like some of it now comes from the wealth of her family, you know, and not recognizing that. But
the wealth of her married family?
Yeah. I'm not sure that she had privilege before that. It's like it's this combo of like persecutory delusion and privilege,
and you know,
that
and
becomes
like
an issue.
We tend to like culturally praise that, right? Like that's the pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and that's, you know, so we should see what she's doing is admirable. That she's
like, that's not by your bootstraps.
To her, it is.
Somebody gave you the boots.
Yeah. Someone is always.
Yeah.
Anytime someone uses that, sorry to get loud, but anytime someone uses that phrase, they already have the boots.
Yeah.
They're not talking about somebody who's actually been barefoot.
Yeah. And like, does that happen? Sure, it does. But I don't know.
There's just a lot of
Yeah. But it's
a lot of
this,
grossness in this book.
it's one of these things. This kind of goes back to like the persecution thing. Like in our society, it is fashionable to be persecuted. And people like to call it like victim culture and all that kind of stuff, right? But like this is way, way older. We've been doing this for thousands of years now. And the whole concept that like, oh, we are picked on and the world hates us is fashionable. I can't remember where I'm going with this now. What were we just talking about?
Bootstraps.
Yes. Oh, okay. But so it is also fashionable to make it appear that you have done everything on your own. Even and then like it's a problem to be like, yeah, I've come from a good place and I'm in a good place and I'm going to continue being in a good place, right? Like
That's not marketable.
That strength, whether it be like economic strength or physical strength or like whatever, you have to like downplay that privilege, whatever it is, physical, mental, whatever, you have to denigrate yourself. And like part of that's just being polite, but also like, if you're just like, oh, no, it's really not that much, but like you're a millionaire, just say it, man, and be like, yeah, I got really lucky.
Like,
just lean into it and do your thing. I have no problem with that.
I don't know. Honesty is better than lying.
Yeah.
Kindness is better than hatefulness. Like, these things, I don't know. There's so many just like dichotomies, right? Like, again, it's staying in the middle lane, bouncing between these extremes. Like her mom said, when times got tough, she imagined she was being watched. That actually helps. It's hard to be a mom, especially a single mom. And she was always being watched by these tiny little eyes.
Yes.
And so it can be very dark and very lonely and very depressing. And she told herself, pretend you're being watched. And that helped her put a smile on her face in front of her kids to get everything done.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to just like lay on the couch and be lazy because she's being watched. She's going to get up and she's going to do things and keep the house running and keep going. And that's helpful.
Sure.
That's a tool, right? To like get through a thing.
Yeah.
But if you go too far,
well,
then it's a danger.
I'm not even sure that there's any one idea that Natalie has where I'm like, that's the problem. It's this like combo.
It's combination.
Right?
It's, yes.
When you have this, because like the persecutory thing that I'm talking about kind of goes with the grandiose thing that you're talking about, right? Like, because basically she ends up being like, I'm being watched by TV or God is watching me, which is like, fine, whatever, but like in a very special way, right?
Yeah.
Like in a very main character energy kind of way. Or, all these people on the internet are watching me, but it's that all eyes on me perspective that is part of the issue. And so while being like, hey, what if you pretend like somebody was watching you, might be an effective way of doing this. Maybe for her, it really wasn't because of like these other personality defects,
I don't know. It's just too hard. It's too much.
It's wild.
I feel bad for Caleb's mom. Something ain't right.
Yeah. Well, like the whole, like she crashed out on the Xannies or whatever, and they made all the paramedics sign NDAs like the Suns were. It's crazy.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Well, and that's one of the things, like I think about that with just like this thing that we do on Sundays is like, I would love to have more people to talk about books with, like just because it's fun and I enjoy talking with everybody that we have coming through. But then the other part of me is like, I don't want anybody looking at me, like, it's crazy.
Well, and like, it's just this is such a commitment to like record this once a week.
Yeah.
It is so hard for me to find other time to record any kind of content or do anything because I'm living my life.
Yeah. And that's part of the issue is like, and like the other thing is like, her favorite photo that she took was the time she like terrorized her family in the driveway.
Gosh, it took 10 million photos, and the one that turned out best is the one where her whole family just gave up and walked away. Yes. What does that say?
Yes, it's really good, really good.
Like every single paragraph in this book is a commentary. There's too much to talk about, and it all makes me mad.
All right. Shelby's got to go, but she's already updated the Fable with her comments for next week. So she's done.
Yeah, and Sue has already read the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Peggy is on chapter 38.
Gotcha.
I saw. So everyone else has kept going.
Yeah. People are wanting to hear more about Caleb's affair. I guess that's with the assistant.
Yeah, who left. Who says in her email, I really do think you're a good person. What? Do you even know her?
Lord.
Were you even there? Are you kidding? But yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff about Caleb that it's like little sentences that are getting like swept under the rug. Something about some teenage cheerleaders.
Yeah, that was weird.
And just these little comments.
I'm
And
not
is
sure
she
that part
making it up?
Yeah, I'm not sure that part was real.
Or is it real? Is she making it up just because the thing she found on his computer?
Oh, yeah,
and her, like, how mortified she was when she saw that he had that whole room in the barn filled with
his monitors and
screens.
stuff, yeah.
Oh my gosh. But no, Rena's miserable.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
All right, well, we've been going for a long time.
Okay.
45 minutes.
Happy reading, everybody. See you next week.
We,
Jason has to pick the next book, and it's going to be something lovely.
Yeah, I'm going to try to find something a little more fun.
This book puts me in a funk. It makes me grumpy.
Fair enough.
It's too much. It's too intense.
Yeah. Well, we were saying, like, if our book has cell phones, it's probably, like, too close to reality.
I'm trying to escape.
I either need it to be so far in the future that you don't have cell phones, or I need it to be far enough in the past that you don't have cell phones.
It's too much.
Yep.
I'm so stressed.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up here.
I'm delicate. It's my privilege.
Like, what was the bad thing that happened to you? Be like, we did this book club for like 5 years. All right, we will see you guys next time for the last of our reading pages, chapters 37 through the end of Yesteryear.
Thanks for sticking with us. Sorry about the tech issue at the beginning, but I'm glad you're here and glad you were with us.
See you next time.
Happy reading.